Art the Clown's Christmas Chaos gets a novelization, Matthew Lillard praises Mike Flanagan's Carrie, and fear not, Frankenstein thirsters, because Jacob Elordi's monster is coming home. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here with a brand new edition of Horror News. We've got a few stories that we're going to get into today, but before we get going, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and jump on into the comments. Give me your thoughts on any or all of the stories here, and tell me if there's something that I missed or if there's a story that you want me to cover. All of my links are in the description down below, so you can reach me there. To kick things off, we've got a novelization of Terrifier 3 coming out, so if it's not enough to watch all the mayhem and madness of Art the Clown and Vicky and bask in the glory of our final girl Sienna, now you'll be able to read all about it, so let's dive in. The article from Bloody Disgusting reads, Art the Clown is back this holiday season in the official novelization of Damien Leone's Terrifier 3, and we're excited to let you know that the long-awaited book will release next week. Damien Leone's Terrifier 3, the novelization, will be available in limited hardcover, paperback, and Kindle formats exclusively through Amazon on December 2nd, 2025. The Kindle version of the book is up for pre-order through Amazon right now, while the hardcover and paperback physical copies will be available on Amazon beginning December 2nd. Terrifier 3 is written by Tim Waggoner, the author of the Terrifier 2 novelization, the X Trilogy novelizations, and the Halloween Ends novelization, so we've got somebody who is very well versed in adapting these horror films to the page. And in Terrifier 3, the novelization, after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and her brother are struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. But just when they think they're safe, Art the Clown returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. Terrifier 3, the novelization, is published by Bloody Disgusting's own Bloody Press, with a cover illustration by Jorge Iracheta that I will show here on the screen. This thing is beautiful. It harkens back to the old EC Comics days, you know, Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, all that good stuff. And I think this is pretty brilliant because the folks behind Terrifier know that the fans will get every little bit of merch that they can. They just absolutely love Art the Clown and love this wild story. For all the people out there that are still resisting the idea of Art the Clown being an icon, it's time to put that up on the shelf along with this novelization of Terrifier 3 because this guy is a bona fide icon at this point. I know there's only 3 movies under his belt, but all of this merchandise, and man, I tell you what, you go to a convention, how many shirts are you gonna see that are Terrifier related? How many families are gonna be dressed up as characters from these films? I see adults and I see little kids dressed up as these characters. This thing is massive and it is completely woven into the horror culture at this point. But let me know your thoughts on the novelization and the Terrifier franchise on a whole down in the comments, and let's move on to the next story. Next up, we've got Matthew Lillard heaping the praise onto Mike Flanagan for his recently wrapped Carrie series for Prime Video, saying that it is a, quote, pure adaptation of the book. And the article from Alex DiVincenzo reads, after a brief but memorable turn in the life of Chuck, Matthew Lillard has reunited with Mike Flanagan on another Stephen King adaptation, the reimagining of Carrie for Prime Video. Speaking with Games Radar Plus, Lillard shared enthusiastic praise for Flanagan, his fellow castmates, and the series as a whole. And Lillard, who plays Principal Grail in the show, says, quote, Carrie's brilliant. Mike Flanagan, who I worked with on Life of Chuck, he is just the single greatest force of nature in this industry. It's 3 different sorts of sections. It's the story Carrie written by Stephen King. It's really a pure adaptation of the book more than the original movie was. The Brian De Palma film is really about sort of one aspect, but there's a lot that happens in the book that's been introduced to the show. There's 3 different tiers: the teachers and the parents and the students. The teachers and the parents are kind of the varsity level actors, you know, old. And the kids are freaking brilliant. They're brilliant actors. I would watch them work and I was blown away at their ability to be honest and truthful. And Lillard closes out his thoughts by saying, quote, "We saw the first 3 episodes cut before we even left Vancouver. Mike had already finished and picture locked the first 3 episodes, which was remarkable. But the show's great. It's really fantastic. The only thing that sucks is you have to wait a year to see it because it's so good." And Flanagan's wearing a lot of hats here because he serves as the writer and showrunner in addition to directing select episodes of the 8-part series produced by Amazon MGM Studios. There's a great young cast of up-and-comers as well as some recurring guest stars that really pack a punch. I'll include those names here up on the screen so you guys can take a look. And of course, you guys know that you can catch Matthew Lillard in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which comes out this December, and Scream 7, which is due out in February. Meanwhile, Flanagan is in pre-production on his take in the Exorcist franchise, with Scarlett Johansson having just been announced to lead. This one is interesting to me because while I enjoy the original Brian De Palma Carrie film, I know that movies have to leave a lot out of a novel when they adapt it, so I'm kind of interested to see what else is in that story that we haven't been shown yet. However, historically, I'm not the biggest television fan, but I'm kind of coming around on it. I've been enjoying It Welcome to Derry as the series progresses, and I've caught up on Stranger Things, which I bailed on way back in the day, and I really love seasons 3 and 4, so I'm looking forward to how that show's gonna close out, and that gives me hope that something like a Carrie series could be really great. But either way, let me know your thoughts down in the comments about the Carrie show, what Flanagan's doing with The Exorcist, all that kind of good stuff, and we'll finish up with our final story. And this last story is great for physical media fans and fans of Guillermo del Toro because it's just been confirmed that his latest film, Frankenstein, produced for Netflix, will have a physical media release. We've got another article here from the great Alex DiVincenzo that reads, "Guillermo del Toro has confirmed that Frankenstein will receive a physical media release, a rarity for a Netflix production." Replying to a fan on Twitter, the filmmaker said that the deleted convent scene will be included among the special features. Now, the Criterion Collection is the most likely home for the disc, as they've distributed 6 Del Toro movies so far, along with a handful of Netflix originals. Del Toro's adaptation of Mary Shelley's genre-defining 1818 novel has been streamed over 76 million times and is still playing in select theaters. And I don't think that I need to break down the plot of Frankenstein for you guys, but I'll put that up on the screen so you can see it, along with the stellar cast who mostly did a really good job, at least in my opinion. To close things out on the article, Megan Navarro wrote in her review for Bloody Disgusting, quote, "There's no question that Frankenstein is absolutely breathtaking, with imagery and set pieces that instantly embed themselves in your memory. It showcases Del Toro's strength as a filmmaker, creating immersive worlds that enhance what he does best, championing monsters and their tragic humanity instead of using them to scare us." And I think this is a rock star decision here by Netflix, kind of like with the Terrifier people doing the novelization of the film. Everyone has been clamoring for a physical media release of Frankenstein by Del Toro. Even before the movie came out, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I hope we get a physical media release of this. That's just the biggest fear when something goes straight to streaming, is that you'll always have to pay for that service, you'll never be able to own it, and you'll never be able to hold and look at this beautiful artwork that they've put together, which is stunning. Personally, I was a little lukewarm on the movie. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because while it is beautiful and there are some great performances, particularly Jacob Elordi's creature, which really saved the movie for me, I think Oscar Isaac's accent was a little off-ish from time to time. Mia Goth wasn't utilized nearly as much as I wanted her to be, and I think Del Toro leans a little bit too much into Frankenstein being completely terrible and not really having any redeeming qualities, while at the same time the monster was a little too pure and pretty far from what we see in the novel. But regardless of how I feel, this movie is so beloved. I mean, I see people all over social media, close friends of mine that absolutely adore this film and have watched it numerous times, so I think it's great that it's getting a physical media release, and man, I mean, just based on the artwork here, I wouldn't even mind having a copy. But I'm curious to know what you guys think, so jump on into the comments, give me your thoughts on Frankenstein, the film, and also give me an idea of how excited you are for a physical media release. Okay, well there it is folks, 3 horror stories for you guys to chew on over the next few days. And yeah, moving forward, the news is going to be in this kind of format. So we'll cover a handful of stories at once, just depending on what kind of news we have. And of course, when big news drops, like Scarlett Johansson joining The Exorcist, we're probably just going to cover that in its own singular video. I really appreciate you guys for stopping on by and checking out the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a thing. And before we head out, I gotta give a big shout out and thank you to our Patreon members as well as our YouTube channel members. What you guys do for the channel and the community is awesome, and I really couldn't do it without you. That's gonna wrap it up for this time around, but I will be back. So until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.